केसरिया तेरा इश्क है पिया, रंग जाऊं जो मैं हाथ लगाऊं, दिन बीते सारा तेरी फिक्र में, रैन सारी तेरी खैर मनाऊं.
Okay, now they're all yours. All three of them are yours. Ayan Mukerji, and you know who that is.
That's
You know
Alia
who that
Bhatt. Nice to meet you, yeah, Alia. Looking hot.
By the way, you all have such good school uniforms. Yeah, I wish I had such good school uniforms. They're very cool. Good stuff.
Let's start. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Fioni. I study in DP2. And first of all, congratulations for the film. It was amazing. This is my third time watching it. So my question to you is, do you unintentionally fall into character off set? If yes, what are the reactions of the people around you?
I think she's a budding journalist for sure.
It's a very deep question. Unintentionally fall into character offset
Off set.
in general or in this film?
In general and also in this film, because the characters are really like, there's a lot to do in this film. So maybe both.
But
I
you know,
don't know.
but you know, it depends from film to film. But I know that when we were doing Brahmastra, it was not only just the shooting of Brahmastra, because all three of us have been talking about Brahmastra for 10 years, that we've really been living it on and off set. So that fine line between real and real, sometimes it gets diminished and you don't know when it happens, what happens. But thankfully, I think Alia and me are also switch on, switch off actors. So we don't carry our work too much at home, because that can be, you know, sometimes dangerous in your real life. You know, you stop living a normal life. So you have to be very intelligent and very careful about that thing.
I think it's happened to me a couple of times, but not with this film, because this is a very like magical stuff that's happening, which will not really. So it's not like suddenly when Ranbir is drinking coffee, there's some fire coming out of the coffee where I'm like, you know, like Shiva, you know, be careful and all of that. So I won't do that. But yeah, I think sometimes when you live a character continuously for a very long time, it does kind of stay with you.
Thank you.
Naman, I'm from grade 10 and I have a question which I'm pretty sure everybody has. Who's Dev?
He is the only man in this world who knows that answer.
Naman, we can't tell you. How can we tell you? All the fun will go away.
Who do you
Okay,
all
so
think?
let's do this. Let's ask y'all, when y'all saw the film, who do you think it is and who do you want it to be?
Ranveer Singh! Ranveer Singh!
Okay, anybody else?
Hrithik Roshan!
What about somebody from the south?
Someone thinks it's Ranbir Kapoor, Ranbir
Allu
Singh.
Arjun!
I think they said Hrithik from the south. Rajnikant. Ajay Devgan.
Very good suggestions.
We will, you'll find out soon.
Okay, now we've exhausted all the actors. We'll find out very soon part 2. You're all waiting for part 2 now? Let's ask Ayan. Ayan, when is part 2 coming? They're waiting. They want one more exam to be cancelled.
So, we're trying to work it out, but our goal is to get part 2 out 3 years from now in 2025.
They can't wait.
It
We
takes
took,
time.
films take time, you have to get made. You know, on part 1, we took 6-7 years after we started shooting the film. But our thought is that we shoot part 2 and part 3 together now. So we release part 2 and then like 6 months or 1 year later, we release part 3. That's our plan.
Good afternoon. I really can't believe my eyes that I'm talking with all of you right now. It feels so surreal. Like I'm Arsh Thakur from DP2. Arsh Thakur. Yes. So I'm really fond of all three of you. You all are my icons. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So my question is that Brahmastra is being praised in India and abroad as well for the extensive use of special effects, and it's quite novel in the Bollywood industry. So do you feel that these special effects hamper the authenticity of the movie? And also, like, do you feel that these enhance your experience as an actor and also our experience? What is your opinion about this?
I'll take the first part of your question and then let Alia and Ranbir talk about acting. No, you know, I feel that what we've achieved with visual effects as human beings in society, with the advent of technology, this is all an ode to where human imagination and like just human beings have evolved to. So I think what we can create with visual effects really allows us to take our imagination to the next level. Like we can create anything on the big screen now. So I think it's definitely like a way forward for us as artists, just human beings in general. You know, we are using it in film, but people are using it in making video games, using it in every walk of life now,
Even education.
in education. And it allows us to imagine in a completely amazing and new way. I think it's part of the reason why so many people got attracted to Brahmastra. And you know, I don't know how much all of you follow Hindi movies, but there was a thing going on that not many people were coming into the cinema. And a lot of people went to see Brahmastra. And I think part of that appeal is people say it's visual effects, but it's actually to see something that is a little bit new in the imaginative space, you know? So yeah, I think it's a great tool that we have and we should use it really well.
Coming to my next part of the question, which was about acting. So as actors, do you feel that this hampers with your ability, or is it like a very good thing for your abilities?
I don't know what you mean by hampers, because honestly, when we are actually shooting it, we have to imagine it. It's not there. So in fact, it makes it even more challenging, because if you don't see it in our eyes that we are responding to this effect of fire or light or energy or anything, then it may not be believable. So there has to be, like, it's actually a great way of extending your imagination in a current moment. Like, it just shows you the power of the mind, which is actually quite challenging but also quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it requires a lot of conviction because through you, you have to believe in it. And if you believe in it, the audience will believe in it. But as actors, then finally you see the final product, you're like, wow, you know, like something out of the ordinary, something out of this world is happening to you. And you're seeing it in a way that is very believable. You know, it's like background music. Sometimes for actors, they're just quiet and they can just do nothing. And the background music can really enhance the mood and make the audience subconsciously feel what the filmmaker wants them to feel. Special effects visually does that. And I think, and see, of course, at the end, it's about storytelling, it's about emotion. So VFX will just enhance the experience, the experience of watching something, of experiencing something. But beyond that, your core emotion and your storytelling has to be strong. And I think Brahmastra is that correct combination where, yes, it has the world, it has the VFX, it has that larger than life storytelling. But in its core, its emotion and its moral values, its characters, they are very strong. And I think that's what really appeals to the audience.
My name's Kavya. I study in 7th grade. So I have a question for Ayan. What was your inspiration for the story of the movie? Like, what was the stimulus?
So, you know, I was a big lover of fantasy my whole life. Like, while growing up around the same time, I must have been your age. Like, I was one of the earliest people in my age group to have read, like, the Lord of the Rings books. Okay, and I was a huge, when I was in, well, just getting out of school, the Harry Potter books had come out. So I was a big reader. Okay. And even before that, as a child, I used to love stories of Indian gods and goddesses. Like, I really loved it, you know. And I think maybe as I was growing up, one, I forgot that love I had for it. And also, I think we had never really made films like Brahmastra in the Indian film industry. So when I entered the film industry, I didn't imagine only that I could make a film like this, basically, but fantasy was always my favorite genre. So, you know, as I was kind of growing up in the industry, I was making my second film. Suddenly I got an idea that what if I make a fantasy film? And the minute I got that idea, I realized that this is actually my favorite genre, and my entire life, my entire childhood, my teenage years, this is the stuff that I've really loved, you know, and that's why in a way I think like the stuff you read now, the stuff that you absorb now will make a very big impression on you guys your entire life. Really, Brahmastra comes from my childhood and my teenage years. And then I started off on this path of trying to write this story. And one thing I had said to myself when I started was that a lot of fantasy that I had loved and that we've used in the film also is all that we've taken inspiration from is a lot from Western fantasy fiction. But I wanted to make sure that we have a very strong core of Indian history, Indian spirituality, because I felt that that is very unique to our culture. And, you know, something that I had grown up that nobody else in the world would know about the way that I do. So I used that as a strong foundation. And then I combined all my love for fantasy, and that's how Brahmastra happened. Thank you.
Also, shout out to your vocabulary. Isn't your vocabulary fantastic? Shout out to all you guys. All the questions so far have been great. We also want to hear from those kids at the back. I think we have third, fourth standard there. Ma'am, if you can get the mic right at the back, right at the back.
Hello, my name is Ivan Moti. I study in sixth grade, and I have three questions. Um, first question is, what are the struggles you all faced on the way uh, to become an actor?
See, of course, people feel that acting is a very easy job. People feel कि अच्छा आप लोग जिम जाओ, body बनाओ, horse riding, dance सीखो, kathak सीखो, and you can become actors. But there takes a lot, once you grow up and you understand life, to portray certain characters on screen, to have certain emotional understanding, emotional quotient, and try and put it effortlessly on screen requires a lot of hard work, requires a lot of understanding of life, a lot of empathy, a lot of kindness, a lot of goodness. I mean, it's not something I can really define in an answer. But yes, acting is very challenging. It's not something as easy as it looks like. Because acting is putting in a lot of effort to make it look effortless.
My second question is Tenzin gonna come back in part two?
Ayan?
Ivan, I can't answer that question.
I
But
think he
for
will.
now, tensing is gone. For now.
For now. Do we want Tenzing to come back?
Yes!
Acha, I'll tell you guys one very funny thing though. The problem with tensing coming back also. So when we started making this film, honestly, we were also, it was a very big film. We were all like a big team, but we with some lot of experience. But it was a very challenging film. So we didn't know. We also had a lot of challenges while making it, is what I'm trying to say. So we didn't realize the film would take so long to make it. So from the first day we started to the last day we finished shooting the film, Tenzing had grown up. He was looking like Tenzing's bigger brother. So now even if Tenzing comes back, the problem is what do we make him look like? Because he'll be a grown-up man by the time part 2 is made.
And last question is everyone, most of the people here want an autograph, so can we get one?
We'll take a group selfie at the end. Is that good? Yeah, we can all do a group selfie. That's a good idea.
Okay, so let's ask you guys a question. So we'll take your question next. So at the end of the film, when the Brahmastra gets joined together and the light is coming and Shiva and Isha in front of the light, what do you guys really think happened out there? Can you all answer this question?
But
Like
put your
who-
hands up and answer. So
Like
we'll
who
ask-
knows this answer? So
Okay, you tell us.
when the light was coming from the Brahmastra, what happened post that? Silence,
First
guys.
of all, I think that when all the fire came and the hands of Shiva, maybe like the god Shiva, came out and it was able to hold the fire. Meaning Shiva is stronger than the god, which was the bad god.
Okay, let's take another answer.
That's interesting answer.
Let's take another
let's
answer.
take another interpretation. Someone from here?
That's a very good answer.
Why don't you answer? Stand up now, just answer. Stand up. Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
Hi, I'm Rupkar and I'm studying in grade 8. I think that when the Brahmastra was joined, Shiva was defending Isha from the light with the fire, and Isha was providing energy so that Shiva does not faint.
Correct. Will you give it to the girl behind you? Right behind you.
Hi, my name is Sheshta, and I think the answer is that, see, like how the light was coming only on the two of them. I think they were the light in the dark, and how they mentioned before, like they were like the button, like Alia was the button of Ranbir. So I think that like Alia was hugging him to support him so that he has the power as she was the button.
I think they all got it. I think together all their answers. Yeah, together.
Let's take
yeah.
your answer last.
Throughout the movie, all the characters are talking about the Brahmastra as the most powerful weapon, but the movie ties it up perfectly that love is more powerful than any universal power. Love is the most powerful weapon. I think that was the moral that the movie tried to show that. So, yeah, so as Ranbir tried, he basically he tried to sacrifice his life for Alia, and that was an act of love, an act of good that was stronger than the Brahmastra or anything in the universe. I think love is the most powerful weapon in the universe.
Nice. Big hand for him.
Correct answer.
My name is Rishabh. I'm from 9th grade. Honestly, I agree with what Pratham said. I think the most important part of it is love. But I also think to a degree, it is the everlasting situation that we are in. Like the amount of people in the world who are facing this love all combined together instead of just two people.
Very nice.
Oh, la la.
Chalo, I have another question for you guys. Instead of you asking us, what do you think a story of part 2 should be like? What do you think? What is Dev and Amrita? Where is?
Oh, what are you expecting in
What
part
are you
2?
expecting in part 2?
My name is Adya and I'm in grade 10. I would expect a look into the backstory, like a prequel maybe, and then maybe how it connects to what's happening right now because we've been left on a cliffhanger. Yes.
Hi, I'm Arjun. I'm in grade 9. So actually, after seeing the first part, I was really excited. So I just saw the first part before exams started. Like, I took my parents. I'm like, I just want to see Brahmastra. Now, in my opinion, the second movie, firstly, I think it would be Ajay Devgan for Dev. And I think that Shiva and Dev will have a fight. And I think Amrita will come back.
Who's Amrita?
Deepika Padukone. Yeah,
You think Amrita is not dead?
yeah.
So what happened to her?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, everyone, what is your favorite song from the film, by the way?
Kesari. Hello, my name is Joshua and I'm a student of 6B. Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt, do any of you want to continue making movies with Ayan Mukerji except the Brahmastra saga?
Okay, go on. And
Go
what else,
on,
Joshua?
go on, go on.
And?
So, other than the Brahmastra saga, do any of you want to make any other movies with him?
Very good question, Joshua.
It's actually a
Maybe the
superb
director
question.
of the second.
No one's asked us this question
Yes.
before.
So me and Ayan have done 2 movies before. We did a film called.
You know which movies we've done before? Which ones? Joshua, you know?
I only know about Wake Up Sid.
Oh, you know, not bad if you know Wake Up. Sid.
So we did Wake Up Sid, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, and now we're doing Brahmastra. And now we're doing Brahmastra 1, 2, and 3. But when I knew Ayan when he was 25 years old, he was very different. Today Ayan is 40 years old, and he is like
He's 40.
he's like a principal. He is a
I
very
don't look,
strict.
na.
He's
He
a very
looks-
strict teacher who's like very strict. Like you have to get the work right. He's a
All lies,
perfectionist.
all lies, all lies.
But I feel like a film like Brahmastra cannot be made without that attitude. You know, so he is a hard taskmaster. But we hope that we can do lots of movies together because apart from him being our best friend, we also respect and admire him as a filmmaker.
Also, another question. So, the second one, it's gonna be about Dev, right? So, in the movie, is it gonna be about how Dev got evil? Like, what were the reasons?
I don't want to say too much because there are also, otherwise if we were sitting alone, I would tell you much more about part 2. But yes, we'll see what happened to Dev in more detail in part 2.
Okay, thank you.
Ayan, what about Shahrukh Khan's character? Is he alive or is he dead? Like, what's happening there?
Ranbir
What do
is
you all
just
think?
pulling my leg. Huh?
The
Ranbir is
Vanar
pulling my
Astra
leg.
scene of Shahrukh Khan, you guys saw that scene, right? Do you think he's alive or do you think he's dead? He's dead. Alia is saying that she thinks he's alive.
Acha, I have one question while the mic goes on. So, you know, it's not a very good habit. This question that I'm asking is not even technically a very good question that I should be asking, but because you see a film always as a whole, right? But still, in the way we watch films, there's a first half and a second half. How many people preferred the first half of the film to the second half? Or did you all prefer the second half to the first half? Okay, how many people preferred the second half? Put your hands up. Oh. And first half? Oh, so second half. Oh, very interesting. Okay, I have one other question. You all saw the film in 3D, no, right now? What did you all feel about watching the film in 3D and how was that experience for you all? Okay. So, will one of you tell me why you like the 3D? Like, is it only because you're wearing glasses and it feels cool, or what do you enjoy about 3D? You feel the VFX was better in 3D?
My name is Dhruvan. I'm from ninth grade, and the movie was really amazing. I feel like with the movie being 3D, all of the visual effects felt much more immersive. And I have a question. So a lot of the parts of the movie were very scenic. So how much of it was VFX and how much of it was filmed in actual locations?
It's yeah.
I think so. You all went to like the snow place. I think so, Shimla, somewhere over there. And a lot of the places over there looked very nice. And in some of the places, y'all were in forests, like y'all were running over there, or like you were chasing the fire. So how much of it was real and how much of it was VFX or like behind a green screen?
So I'll tell you one thing, it was a combination. Some of the snow bits that you're talking about, we shot. But the entire climax was all visual effects. You know, even the forest and all
it was
over
shot
there,
in a studio as like a closed room.
like bigger
Even
than
me
this.
running through the forest in the climax, like
No,
up
that's
the.
shot in Manali.
No, Babu.
Mix and match.
Not the one with Junoon. Alone when I run up the hill.
So just imagine. So there is this room that we all are sitting in. It's blue here, it's blue here, it's blue here, and there is nothing. You see just small rocks and small properties, and everything that you see, the ashram behind, the trees, the mountains, the effects, everything is created in later in post production. So the entire climax that you guys are seeing, we have shot it in a room like this.
Hi guys, my name is Mazbeen and I'm from grade 12. So first of all, tremendous movie, and it's something different that the Indian audience has never seen before, and that's what makes Brahmastra stand out so much, and it's been all over the internet and social media. And it's really tremendous. So my question to you is, what have your personal beliefs in mythology and spirituality altered the perspective towards your film?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so I think that all of us, definitely the three of us, and I think a lot of people in general, our friends, etc., we're all on some kind of a spiritual path, right? As we're growing older, we're trying to make sense of life, how to live, how to be better. And I think this was not evident to us as a certain age, but a lot of it is going back to values and thinking that has actually been taught to us by our schools, by our parents. That has always been a part of our culture. So I think in general, we've all been on a spiritual path. And I think that in many ways, this whole exercise of this Brahmastra journey, one of the key things for me was that, we want to approach spirituality in a modern way, in general. But through the making of this film, let me tell you, like as each year passed, I found myself getting even more deep into Indian philosophy in general. Like my understanding of this word Shiva, Lord Shiva, it has expanded so much. It's always been a part of my culture. I've always really looked up to Lord Shiva. It's been a part of my life. But the way I've opened up that word and uncovered layers through the making of this film, actually Brahmastra has taken me deeper into Indian spirituality as well. So yeah, that's it. We are still on a path, with this film.
Do you guys believe in God? All of y'all?
I think it was very evident through the portrayal of each character, because it felt like you all did a lot of background research on each character and their past lives and stuff. So it was very evident, and that's what actually made me think about spirituality and mythology when I was watching it. It was really good. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm from the 11th grade, and my question is that both
Where
of
are you, Tanya?
I'm right here.
Okay.
My question was that both of you played such strong characters, and what was the experience like? Did you feel the superpowers like in real life? How did this influence your life, and what did you learn from your characters?
Well, this is such a large question, because like I had mentioned earlier, that Brahmastra was not just a movie for us as actors. We were also part of the, if I can say, Ayan, part of the creation of the film. We were there during every idea. We were there during every music, every VFX thought. Anything that Ayan had conceived, we were always the first few to receive from him. So I think that really started our process as actors to understand the film, to understand the characters. So what happens is usually when a director offers you a film, he gives you a script. You take the script, you read the script, you understand your character, you make your notes, and you come on set and you collaborate with people and you create that character. Brahmastra has been a very new animal for all of us because the experience of making Brahmastra is something that I don't think any other actor has had before, that I know of. But I can definitely say that it definitely made us very deeply connected with not just our characters but the film. We feel for the film more than we feel for any other film. You know, we feel it is our film. Like it has our blood, sweat, tears. We have skin in the game. So that experience is very new. You know, I can't say that same that how I had an experience as an actor because it's much larger than just being an actor on the film.
Hi, I'm Anahita Sharma. I study in grade 6A. So my question is like how does it feel to do the scene where you're like going to give Janoon the final piece? Like when that figure of you appears made with fire, how does it feel to film it?
You know, also we must say that once before we started shooting the climax, we had a full 2D animation ready of the climax. So on the computer, we could see what the climax and this section will look like. So there is a sense that you can imagine, okay, this fire avatar that you see of Shiva when, you know, when Junoon, when before the rain, we could see what it looked like. But finally what it came across, of course, it was 100 times better. But as actors, when you're in that moment, you just have to believe that, okay, you know, Isha and Shiva in this crossfire, Isha is getting hurt, and that really troubled Shiva. And something opened that he got angry. Like, why are people harming Isha? And that opened a chakra in him, which kind of made this avatar. So as actors, we were really focusing on that emotion, and what you see on the screen, that avatar, is something which has become even better than what we had imagined on set. But as actors, we were just focusing on that moment that Isha is hurt and Shiva is angry.
Should we take the mic to the back again? There are too many hands up at the back.
So hello, I'm Mishka. I study in grade 7. And first of all, belated happy birthday, Ranbir. And my question is basically you have not done a VFX film in the past years. So how was it to act on a studio with just green screen and no effects because you were just imagining? Because how do you put your actions and emotions on point?
Effects also sometimes, of course, the visual effects is one thing, but there's also something called SFX, which is on-set effects. So that's wind, water, and Ayan's, one of the biggest effect that Ayan gave us was music. Okay, and literally Ayan screaming on the mic, okay, look up, now, run! Like this was Ayan on the mic with the music and the wind. So that became our sort of, you can say, crutch. When that would not happen, I remember one couple of times it happened where the music or they didn't play it or the speaker was not connected and I was unable to do anything. So SFX really helped in the whole imagination of the VFX because otherwise, I mean, yeah, otherwise you really don't have any of the elements.
Hi, my name is Anish. I'm from DB1. Firstly, we all just want to congratulate Ranbir sir and Alia ma'am for mom's pregnancy. And you both are the most cutest couple in the entire industry. Coming to my question, you both are the biggest stars in the Bollywood industry and working with other big names like Mr. Bachchan and Mr. Khan. How has been your experience and do you somewhere feel pressurized working with them?
No, I think Mr. B is honestly, he is the most, like after seeing him work in the industry, even though for so many years, he's like a child on set. You know, he's so excited about the shot and he, even when he's not in frame, like, you know, we would say, sir, you're not in frame. He would be like, no, I'll come, I'll give the cues, I'll be there. He always wants to give one more. Ayan and him were always, you know, quarreling and on the side. So he and Ranbir and him would constantly be talking about different stories. We would call for pizza for him and this and cookies and all of that. Genuinely, he's the most calming, hardworking energy, and we just learnt a lot from him. And he doesn't carry that baggage, even though he is the Amitabh Bachchan. But he doesn't carry that baggage. He comes as a team player, and he really gives his everything to the shot and to the film. And that was really very inspiring. And we actually just couldn't believe that we were able to sit with him and take all his stories. So Ranbir was only asking him questions throughout the day. It was like you would see Mr. B's on set, Ranbir is gone. Like I would not even get to speak to Ranbir the whole day because he would be taking one chair and sitting beside him the whole time. And we didn't get to shoot with Shahrukh, but honestly, it is one of the most generous acts that we have seen in our lives. Like, and for an actor to be so generous and give so much to a film, just like we just went to him and said, "Sir, you know, there's this sequence, and it's a very important sequence because our film opens with that sequence, and we need you. Like, we would need you to do that because only you would be able to give that sort of weight to that sequence." And he said, हाँ कर लेंगे. ऐसे कुछ मतलब कुछ था नहीं कि क्या करना है, क्यों करना है, nothing, no question. And that generosity, since we're all talking, you know, we're constantly learning in life. It was a big learning for us that, okay, we wish someday we'd be able to be so generous and just help someone out. And Ayan even wrote in the end of the film, eternally grateful to Shahrukh Khan because it is the most generous act a person can do for another person. So, yeah.
Alia ma'am, we all are a fan of your beautiful voice. So at the end, can you please sing Kesaria?
And at the end.
My name is Shivraj. So, in whichever films you watched, which film do you feel like you could actually play a role in and why?
Like a Hindi film, English film.
Any film.
My all-time favorite Hindi film is, I mean, the many, but I would say Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, right? And I think that is my dream role. I remember when we were making Ye Jawani Hai Diwani together, Ayan kept giving the reference. Of course, we didn't reach 10% of what Mr. Shahrukh Khan had done on that film, but he kept giving the reference of, you know, when you do a love story, there is no benchmark greater than what Mr. Shahrukh Khan and Kajol did in Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So for me, it's that.
Hi, Ranbir and Alia. I'm Bansri and I'm Pia. So, firstly, we're like biggest fans of y'all, and we can't believe we're standing in front of you. Also, happy belated birthday, Ranbir, and our heartiest congratulations for your blockbuster film.
Our question to you is, what is your favorite scene in the entire film?
Even Alia has to answer this question, both of them.
Can I answer? Can I answer? The interval moment has always been my favorite moment in the film. Also because it's the first time Isha confesses her love to Shiva. And then what happens after that? And then you introduce Mr. B, and then he faints, and then there's a rush. So whenever I've watched that on screen, whenever when we were performing it as well, I had like goosebumps literally. That is one of my favorite moments to watch. And yeah.
I think, of course, I love the entire film and it's very hard to choose one. But if I had to choose one, I would pick the song Deva Deva. I think the way Ayan visualized that song and the way the concept of the song, I think was very exciting even at the time before we shot it. And finally how the song came out, I was quite shocked and surprised how well it came out. So I would say Deva Deva.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you all.
Hi, my name is Brahmari, and
Brahmari?
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means the humming of a bee.
Brahmari.
So basically, my question is, what is your favorite BTS moment or blooper moment when you guys were filming this movie?
I'll tell you a very funny story, which I still can't believe happened. We were shooting the climax, and as I said, I spoke about SFX earlier. So yeah. So a lot of the SFX would require. So there were these big, what do you call those gas cylinders that would give out air. Okay, so on one day, Ayan was literally standing on top of a rock, okay, which was about this height, and we were all down like that, and he was giving some speech because he was not liking the way things were going, and something was going wrong, and we were all standing doing our touch-up in between takes. And say this is where Ayan is standing, we are over here, and the studio door is there. The cylinder burst, so it sounded like there was like a big explosion or something. The fastest person to run out of that set was Ayan, who ran from here to the door, left us all behind, and he just sprinted out. And I was like, excuse me, you've just left us and bounced after giving that sermon. So I think that I will never forget that moment because it was such a quick shift. And like he literally leapt like a cat. It was quite funny. And Ranbir did hear it only. He was doing, So it made me very stressed in an emergency what Ranbir would be doing because he was on some other planet.
I would also like to say that I'm a very, very big fan of you. I've been following you since Student of the Year, so it means a lot that you're here and you're taking this time to talk to us.
Thank you so much, Brahmari. Thank you.
Hello, I am Anushka. I am in 7th. I have a question. What was your reaction when you got the proposal for the movie?
Me and Ayan had already decided that we're going to do our third film together, and so we've been talking about it for a while. So there was not one day as such, but I think Alia's had that.
You know, I have a very hazy memory of this movie proposal when it came my way. All I remember was Ayan and me was sitting in his house and he just mentioned to me, you know, he's like, I'm going to come to you with my next film. And this is after Jawani had just released. And I had known Ayan closely as a friend, but I had admired him since Wake Up Sid as a director. So I was like waiting for him to come to me with a film. And we were sitting and he just said, yeah, I'm definitely coming to you with my next film. And obviously in that moment, like Diwali was happening within me. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then I think, I don't even remember, cut to Karan called and said, we are announcing the film tomorrow. And that's it. And some announcement happened. So I was like, I don't even remember what happened. But yeah, that was my reaction. That it just felt unbelievable because it was such a huge opportunity for me then and now.
Okay, last question for the day.
My name is Pradyum. I'm from grade 6. And my question for you is, how did acting change you as a person?
For me, I think, when I was in school, I was very below average. I was not good in studies. I was not good in dramatics. I was not good in sports also. So I think acting somewhere when I grew up, it gave me a purpose. It gave me something to really feel ambitious about, something to feel excited about, something that I had to really put myself out there, surrender myself and work hard. Because in life, if you want to be successful, you have to go all in. You have to put everything that you have of your life on the line and you have to go for it. So I think for me, it was that.
Okay, so that was the last question, but you can all ask your questions in part 2. But remember, Alia promised something to us sometime back. You remember?
Last 2-3 questions, I feel.
2,
Thank
3.
you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, quickly ask.
Go ahead.
I'm Naisa from grade 8 and it's like a huge fangirl moment for me because being around my 2 favorite actors is like a huge thing. I have one question. The name Brahmastra, how did it come out? Did you have any backstory with the name Brahmastra? What gave out the name of that?
When this film was announced or when you guys heard the title before I answer, y'all had all heard this term Brahmastra or did y'all learn it with this film? Did y'all know what the Brahmastra is? You didn't know. So I'll be really honest with you. Brahmastra is used a lot in our historical tales, in our mythological tales. And the thing with a lot of things written about in Indian history is that there are so many stories that you'll be shocked. Like even now, yesterday night, I was watching on YouTube, somebody was explaining the Astras in Brahmastra. And they were saying 4 things that even I had not heard, though I had been making this film. So I knew the term Brahmastra because I am a little bit older than y'all. And when I was growing up, I used to still hear it in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, and I understood what it meant. And when I wrote the film, in English, I used to call the Brahmastra. In English, I had called it the medallion stone. And it was this stone that had the power of the entire universe, the most powerful object. Then it occurred to me that the idea came to me that I'm so inspired by Indian history. Let me call it like our version in our fantasy. Let's call it the Brahmastra because it connects very deeply with our roots. And in a way, I find it quite cool that you guys didn't really know what it is. And now you're discovering it through this film because it might connect you more with Indian roots in its own way.
Okay, guys, every story has a villain, and this time I'm the villain. I'm sorry, but we're completely out of time. It is somebody's birthday here, and we only have time to cut cake. We have to cut cake for Mr. Ranbir Kapoor. With belated birthday. He just turned 40. Oh, they want to sing Kesaria for you, or do we want to sing
Kesaria
Happy Birthday
also
for
we
you?
forgot. We can sing Kesaria while Ranbir cuts the cake.
Okay, let's do
Alia
that.
can
all
sing
of us.
Kesaria for Ranbir while he's cutting the cake.
केसरिया तेरा इश्क है पिया, रंग जाऊं जो मैं हाथ लगाऊं, दिन बीते सारा तेरी फिक्र में, रैन सारी तेरी खैर मनाऊं.